So let's start as usual, maybe with one or two reports, and then we'll move on to reading. Who would like to present the reports? Action research, not action, exploratory research reports. One or two?
Morning everyone. My action research question is, why are some 6th standard students are unable to read simple sentence in English?
Why are they not unable, or why are they not able?
Unable.
Why are they unable?
Unable to read. Unable to read simple sentences in English. My name is Usha. My school name is KHPS Govankoppa. It is in Belagavi district, Bailongla Taluk. My questions: how can I improve my students' reading skills ability? What are the backgrounds of the students? Whether they can identify the letters in alphabet or not? How can I motivate my students? Which type of activities do the children prefer to improve their reading skills? What are the...
You're recording now. So can you pause and can you start from the beginning? Because I
Already
interrupted in the middle. So
No, sir.
you can edit, sir. Oh, you can edit. Oh, okay.
What are the strategies I have to follow to my students' reading skill? Data collection. To overcome this identified problem, data was collected from the above mentioned 22 students and their friends and my colleagues. My colleagues are Mr. Nitin, Mrs. A.V. Vannur and Mr. S.H. Patil. Helped me in every aspects and guided me with the probable reasons and discussed solution. Questions that I asked for students: why did you feel English reading difficult? Do you identify the letters in the alphabet? Why did you not show interest in reading? What makes you fear? What was your last score in English unit test? Why did you not done your homework regularly? Reasons: there are no English teacher from past 4 years in that school. Lack of interest among the students. No moral support for the students. Lack of opportunities for reading. Fear of laughing some students in the class. They were not properly motivated by other teachers. Lack of exposure to the reading materials. Students do not know how to pronounce words. Parents are not showing interest on English subject especially. They involve the students in their field work. Lack of attendance. Students do not have enough reading material other than textbook to get exposure to reading. Unfamiliar language as English, they feel like that. My action phase for this is word by word reading. Point to each word and have students to read individually. Sentence building activities, picture sentence matching activities, reading aloud activities, guided reading, and simple sentence patterns like I can, I like, my name is, I have to, but he has, she has, we are. These are the activities I'm going to conduct in my school to enhance my students' reading ability. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you so much. All right. So excellent. So is it why are my students not unable to, or why are my students unable to? No, which is correct? Why are my students unable to? Not unable means able. Okay, double negatives. Okay. You want to present?
1 minute. I will go.
Oh, yeah. Oh, all right. So why are my students not able to
Not able to.
read? Yeah, not able to read
Simple sentences in English.
simple sentences in English. Which grade?
6th standard.
6th standard. Very
Sir,
good.
there are no English teacher from past 4 years or 5 years.
Yeah.
And even students are
So now
not
there is an English teacher, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so don't worry about the
I am
past.
starting from ABCD.
That's right. Good. Very good. So you have to help them to read letters, words, sentences. So this is something that is doable. All right. Your action plan is something that you can do. It is not an idealistic or a utopian plan. Some activities which you can really do in your classrooms to help students improve their reading ability. Yeah. So when you present your action plan, it is nothing but your syllabus actually. You are designing your own syllabus to help students acquire language skills. Right? When I say your own syllabus, not the core syllabus. Core syllabus is given to you. Textbook is prepared based on the syllabus, right? That is something that is given. And this is something that you have evolved on your own based on your sense of plausibility. This is what Dr. N.S. Prabhu says. He says teachers should have a sense of plausibility. Plausibility means experienced teachers, not novice teachers, not those who are new to the profession. Experienced teachers will have a sense of plausibility. Plausibility means they will know what is possible in their classrooms and what is not possible. Textbook writers will not know. We will not know. Teacher educators, we will not know what is actually possible in your classroom, because she says they didn't have English teachers for the last 5 years. This reality, do we know? We don't know. Textbook writers know that. Policy makers, SCRT, they know? No, they don't know individual schools, individual classrooms. Who knows it better? The classroom teacher. Alright, so you know your students' background much better. You know what is the reality in the classroom, right? So based on the reality, based on your students' actual levels of learning, you're designing an additional syllabus. This is a parallel curriculum, a parallel syllabus. Textbook you'll have to use anyway. You have to transact the main course material, but you know that students won't be able to read the textbook lessons, right? You know they will not be able to answer those questions on their own, right? But then you have to use it, right? Alternatively, you should also do something that is really, really useful to your students. So maybe if you have 5 periods in a week, 4 periods your main textbook, 1 period for your action research every Saturday maybe. That's what many teachers do. Or extra class sometime, 3:30 to 4:30. Spend some time with those students who are unable to read. Extra time, extra effort. In 3 months you will see how they are improving, alright. Then you can bring them to the mainstream. You can do it in your main classroom. But initially you have to put lots of efforts. Initially you should put extra efforts, take extra time, right? So I'm very happy that, see, action plan is you're designing your own activities or collecting activities and doing something which is possible, alright? Yeah, next, one more maybe.
Hello, good morning everyone. My action question is, why are some of my students facing difficulty in speaking English? The problem? Most of the students are facing difficulty in speaking English. According to my observation, most of my students of the class 7 of Government Kannada Higher Primary Boys School Ghodgeri of Chakrakodi district from Karnataka state are facing the problem of speaking English. I work very hard to create English speaking environment by creating much relevant activities in class 7. Objectives: to find out why students do not speak in English, to analyze the reasons behind students facing problems speaking English, to identify effective techniques for helping students to speak in English. Main research question: why are some of my students facing difficulty in speaking English? Some specific questions: what problems do students face while speaking? What are the main factors of student speaking deficiency? What factors inhibit students from speaking English? What are the main factors of students losing their self-confidence while speaking English? What are the strategies to overcome the speaking difficulties? Data collection. In this exploratory action research, I have collected some opinions from students. Students wise. Students have fear of making mistakes while speaking English. Students have lack of vocabulary. They have low motivation to speak in English. They have lack of participation in speaking English. My students are lazy to read. Students have shy feelings. They feel nervous while speaking English. Or usage of mother tongue. They have lack of speaking English atmosphere. Students have lack of knowledge in phonic sounds or pronunciations. Lack of grammar usage. Students are facing difficulty in understanding English. Teachers' voice. According to my observations, many students are unable to speak English properly. That's why I collected some views from my colleagues or some my other teachers. Students have fear of speaking English, hesitate to speak in English. Students have fear of making mistakes. They have lack of vocabulary. They have lack of confidence. Overuse of mother tongue influence in environment. Large class size. Teachers' English proficiency. Teaching methods. School facilities and curriculum. Other colleagues wise. My colleagues notice that students have many reasons to speak in English. English is a difficult language for the students. Students are struggling with the phonic sounds, lack of speaking English atmosphere or opportunities for students, lack of fluency, shyness, feeling of making mistakes, lack of self-confidence, poor pronunciation, irregularity problem. So now action phase. During this action phase, I designed the following activities. The first one is Jolly Phonics Lessons app activity. Through this technological app, students learn better sounds, letter formation, blending sounds, identify sounds in words and spelling tricky words. Second is greetings activity. Greeting as an act of communication. Here students develop the speaking ability. It develops the sense of communicating among the students. The third is day-to-day life conversation. The focus of this activity is improving spontaneous communication skills. It develops fluency and building confidence in using the language. Fourth one is self-introduction. Here, the students can develop ability to speak in English as well as confidence. Fifth one is talking flashcards learning toy. In this device, the students involve in talking flashcards learning. It develops the listening and speaking skill among the students. Sixth one, sight words app learning or speaking activity. It will help child recognize and learn the essential sight words which can use in speaking English. Seventh one, prepare a lemon juice. Through this activity, student can develop the speaking activity. Eighth one, story narration. Story narration is a powerful tool for students' development. Here students can improve verbal expression, clarity and fluency in language. It helps to develop better vocabulary, grammar and sentence construction. Ninth one, English reading app. Here speaking English reading can learn through sentence. 10th one, speech competitions. The activity develops self-confidence among the students. Teacher provides speech competition topics like talk about your favorite animals, about your school, about great freedom fighters, about your favorite role model. 11th one, anchoring. Teacher encourages students to speak in English. It develops confidence as well as how to present ideas in front of audience. The last one is interview. This is an interesting activity to develop the speaking English skill. Interview play a significant role in shaping the students' skills and confidence. These are the 3 months activities I planned for the action phase. Thank you, sir.
Okay, good. Very good. Excellent. All right. Very well done. Yes, particularly the action plan. I really like your action plan because activities are all graded, very well graded, from simple to higher level activities. Like you cannot begin with anchoring in the first month, right? Can you begin with an interview? No.
It's not.
It's a very higher level activity. Students should know how to ask questions, how to take turns, all right, how to take part in an interview. So it's not possible to do it in the very beginning of your action research because students are at a much lower level, all right. So you can begin with simple phonics activities and then introducing oneself. Children will learn to introduce themselves, right? And then sight words you can introduce, vocabulary. So activities are good, but the only thing is it should be related to the data you have collected. So what does your data say? Data you have collected from students, teachers and other colleagues. What does it say? Students lack confidence to speak in English. So in your action plan, is there anything to build their confidence? These activities will build confidence. Yes? Okay, of course, yes. Otherwise, in the beginning, you should have confidence building activities. You can do it in the mother tongue also. Some students, at least you want them to stand up and speak. Maybe many students are silent in the classroom. So initial activities, you call them to the front, ask them to speak anything that they feel like. Which language? Whichever language, your mother tongue, doesn't matter. So they will gain confidence to stand up, ask questions, to come to the front, say something about themselves. So language should not be if you force them to speak only in English initially, they may be hesitant. They will not open their mouth. So initially your aim is to shed away that inhibition. They should open their mouth at least. They should have the courage to come and stand here in front. They should have the courage, right? So those are called, what do you call them? Confidence building activities. That is what many students and teachers said, right? So have some confidence building activities. So after 1 month, if you say, most of my students have gained the confidence to stand on the dais and say a few sentences, that is enough. In 1 month, small improvement. You're not making huge progress, all right? Small steps they take to improve their speaking. You should be able to observe and record it, document it. Yeah, these students have improved their confidence. That is important. And many students said they are afraid of speaking in English because others make fun of them. This is what you said. Others make fun, laugh at their mistakes. So in your action plan, you should have some activities where students are allowed to make mistakes, or at least some rules for the classroom. When others speak, don't laugh at them, don't make fun of them, all right? And then, so something like that, lack of vocabulary, you said, lack of vocabulary. So in your action plan, you should have some activities to improve their vocabulary, right? So it's all related. Data is not something that is different from your action plan. It's all linked, right? Okay, so that's why before you prepare your action plan, you should look at those reasons once again and identify the main categories. Students have said many things, colleagues have said many different things. So what are the main reasons? You should identify some themes, categories, themes. What are these themes? Themes are, some are student related factors. No encouragement at home, all right? Lack of practice. They are lazy, you said. Lazy. Is it teacher related or student related? Student related, all right? So some student related factors. Some are teacher related, maybe. No opportunities to speak, right? Some are classroom management skills. Maybe there are 70 students. How will you give them individual opportunities? Very difficult. So in your action plan, you should have some strategies to handle a large classroom of 70, 80 students. So that is your action plan, which is practical, doable, realistic, right? Okay. Are you sure you will do all these things?
Yes, sir.
Yeah? All right. Good. Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, you should. Yeah. Right. Okay, so that's why I think Dr. N.S. Prabhu, again, he says there is no best method. There is no best method. Maybe Pooja Madam is talking about communicative method. What are the other methods of teaching English? Structural approach, communicative approach, language, grammar translation method, bilingual method, task-based language teaching, direct method. All right, these are all different approaches, methods which have come from the West. Not right. We have borrowed all these ideas from the West. But Dr. Prabhu says there is no best method. Why? That's the title of his article, which is very popular. There is no best method. Why? Right? Why? Because teachers know which method is
according to the
situation, according to classroom reality, students' levels.
Yes.
You have to evolve your own methods of teaching English. So this action plan is nothing but you're trying to evolve your own methods of addressing all these classroom issues, classroom problems. Task-based method will not work in your classroom. Communicative approach may not work, right? So you know what works, what doesn't work. So there is no one prescribed method. You cannot have one approach to address all the students. So what you are doing is very important. You are trying to, at the end, you can evolve your own theories, maybe your own method of teaching English. Yeah, your own method, your own ways, which is very useful. All right. Okay, so good. Others can present in the next class. So we'll move on to reading now.